Screensavers, can you hold on? Screensavers, can you hold on? Screensavers, can you hold on, please? Screensavers, can you hold on?
All right, you've been on hold long enough. We're now ready to take your calls and answer your tough tech questions live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco. It's All Call Friday on the Screensavers.
Welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. This is the only place on television that will take a full hour of live calls to help you with your toughest computer questions. It is All Call Friday.
And it's All Call Friday without a net.
That's right.
Dan, we're still looking for questions. How do people get on air? Well, it's really easy. All you got to do is give me a call. The phone number is 888-989-7879. But you can also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com. But also, our studio audience will be voting on who they think the best callers of the show was. So that winner will be announced at the end of this show. It's going to win a bag full of goodies, which Sarah has. Look at, oh, wow. Ooh. Yes.
It's the Tech TV Sports
Very
Pack.
nice.
I'll
Very
take
good,
that
Sarah.
bag full of goodies. I'll tell you that much. Let's start off with the tech news that caught our eye today. Sarah has the first story.
I do. I feel like I'm back in school again. Tax time is here, and April 15th is just around the corner. But did you remember to file your out-of-state sales taxes from online purchases? Maybe not. New sections on state returns are asking you to report unpaid sales taxes for items purchased out of state, including online transactions. California and New York, for the first time, have added tax lines to their returns, joining 17 states that have had it previously. Now, I just did my tax returns, and I didn't fill out anything like that.
I was going to say,
go look again.
I just skipped over that line. I think.
People were talking about like tax cut. They're like, yeah, I can ask that question in tax cut for others tax software for the states.
Right.
You don't remember it, but the whole idea is like, can you imagine? You basically have to go through every credit card receipt, or think of like, wait, I bought Twinkies on my way to Wendover for the Boar race, and there was 9 cents. And you have to calculate, figure out the tax for everything you might have bought.
You have to do this for online purchases as well, then?
And that's what's really interesting, is they're saying out-of-state purchases, including online purchases. So apparently, the whole federal, attempt to stop all taxes on internet sales is...
I was going to say, I have a hard enough time doing my taxes as it is. It's like, this is one I don't need this extra line asking me what kind of online purchases I made.
Well, it's interesting. Like, there's an 18 cents per gallon sales tax on gas. Well, I guess it's, if I used 9 gallons in Nevada and 9 gallons in California, do I owe 9 gallons times 18 cents? Could we have some help here?
Patrick Norton making life easier for everyone. You've confused the entire audience.
I didn't come up with the idea of adding.
That's right.
This is not my responsibility. I'm just pointing out this is a scary little line that's been added in New York, California, and apparently in 17 other states.
So I'm just going to skip it for now, and we'll worry about that next year.
Yeah, I mean, the tax idea isn't new. Normally you're supposed to file the forms separately.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but it's interesting if they've moved it into your state return. So it's one more thing they can nuke you on if you get audited. Joy.
Did you just say you were going to forget about it and worry about it next year? That is terrible advice. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
I didn't buy anything online this year. I don't do any of that
stuff. You are such a liar. Okay.
Amazon who?
Yesterday, moving on. Yesterday we mentioned that homeless hacker Adrian Lamo was back in court for his sentencing hearing. Well, today we have an update for you. PC World and other news sites are reporting that the hearing has indeed been pushed out until June. So he's got a little time to wait on that.
That's good news.
Yes. Breathe deeply and enjoy the sunshine, Adrian.
That's right. Take off the chastity belt. That's what
does that mean?
Like, prison.
Is it something about that side of the table?
I get that whole Leo feeling when I'm standing over here, and it's he makes those kinds
I'd say take a keto or karate.
That's
an idea. Let's just draw a line in the show right there. Thank you, Sarah, so much for the lovely news.
Take off the chastity belt.
John joins us on the phone from Castro Valley, California.
Hey, John.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey, Kevin.
Patrick?
Love the new intro.
Oh, cool. Excellent. We like it too.
We're very excited. And the people in the intro are actually all on the show.
Yeah.
Good matchup. You know what? Let's just get straight to a tech question before I get serious.
Call number one.
How can we help you?
I got a question. I got two new of the Raptor, the Western Digital 10,000 RPM drives. I want to set them up. I got a Asus P4 P800 Deluxe motherboard, and I want to put them in RAID 0.
That's awesome.
And yeah, right now I already have a 80 gigabyte serial ATA, a Seagate one, and I want to know if I can transfer the information after onto that RAID, or do I have to reinstall?
Did you get the 33 gig ones or like the 74-ish gig ones?
36.
Okay, I see what you're doing. So you're just going to stripe it across the two discs?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You could probably, if you had another drive to back the stuff onto and move it back on, you could probably manage to save this whole installation. But the truth is, man, we look for any excuse to reinstall the operating system and reinitialize everything just because of bit rot and all the crud that goes into the system.
Yeah, and you know, once you do that, even if you were to do that, John, it's going to start freaking out because it doesn't understand the whole RAID configuration. You know, when you're going to install Windows for the first time and you put that XP disk in, it's going to ask you for a special disk that came with the RAID controller.
Right.
Did you get that disk that had the XP drivers with your RAID controller?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
it's going to ask you for that third-party driver.
Go in and put in the new drivers for the RAID controller.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to want to do that the second you start it up. The reason we were oohing and ahhing for the people at home is those are the 10,000 RPM drives.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be smoking fast.
They're enterprise-quality drives. They're incredibly fast. The 78-gigabyte version is even faster. They sound like really small in capacity, but the performance on them is phenomenal. Actually, Leo immediately went out and bought, as soon as he saw the numbers on them, went out and bought one for his XP system and one for his OS X system.
I wish we could do that.
Spent the next 3 weeks just talking about how much faster everything launched when he brought it out of the file. Were you worried about, did you just have a special configuration that you wanted to like ghost and store on a separate drive and then re-image, or did you just want to sort of drag and drop everything onto the new drives, John?
Just like the data, like all my AAC files from iTunes and stuff that are already on that Seagate drive. If I go and I hook that one up, because on the board it has, you can plug in two drives, and then I have a separate controller that's PCI that I'll be able to put the 80 gig back on. Will I be able to pull that information off with that OS being on the 80 gig too?
You know, in theory, you should be able to, but in reality, whenever I've moved an installed operating system and put it in another place and then reinstalled, had XP in another place in the operating system, things have gone horribly and desperately wrong for me. Maybe because I just haven't slaughtered the right chickens or paid off the right people at Microsoft. I don't know whether it's bad luck or... I would want to back that stuff off into a nice, safe, simple, and external drive, borrow a drive, burn it to CD or DVD, but I'd definitely get it off the drive with the operating system, and then once you reinstall the new operating system, format that 80 gigabyte drive. And
iTunes is cool like that too. I've done that in the past where I moved it off. So you're okay. Just move that iTunes folder and then point it to the new one, and you should be good to go.
But I wouldn't leave my valuable data on an installed operating system drive and plug that in as the second drive. Bad, messy, scary. Good call, John.
Thanks for the call, John.
We're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. All Call Friday. After the break, it's a lightning round. This time we're going to take a series of your calls. Lightning speed. As many as we can when the screensavers continue.
G4 TV for gamers and Tech TV are connecting to form the only network taking digital entertainment to the next level.
Sound fun?
I love video games.
Plugged in to every aspect of games, gear, gadgets, and gigabytes.
That was unexpected, right?
Okay.
You're watching G4 Tech TV.
G4 Tech TV. Stay connected. Coming May 28th. For more information, go to g4techtv.com.
Welcome back. Time now for the lightning round. We're going to see how many questions. We can answer. John joins us from Newberry, Michigan. What's your question, John?
Hi, guys. The question I have is, I've got a E-machine system running XP, and I want to build a new system, new motherboard, CPU. And I'm wondering if the XP from that E-machines will transfer over, or if there's something built into it that'll make it say this isn't the right computer, it won't work.
Is it a Windows XP disk, or is it a system restore disk from E-machines?
It's a restore disk.
if flip a coin 50-50, chances are with the restore disk, it's designed to recognize a particular motherboard or an E-machine BIOS. Sometimes they'll ignore a different BIOS or a new BIOS or a different motherboard and try to install. It'll be a little bit messy, but you might be able to get it to work. The other alternative is that a system restore disk will look at your new motherboard, go, this isn't an E-machine's motherboard, and just say, I won't install. The problem is that basically they gave you Windows XP, but inside of their customized software installation, and it can be really problematic, really difficult to get it out of there. Good time to do a quick, like a Google search to see if you might figure out how to crack XP outside of that, because you own the license.
John, real quick, take it to a friend's house and try it on their machine. Don't do the install. Just see if it'll let you get into the setup mode. If it can, then there's a good chance you're going to be able to do that install.
Yeah.
So, thanks for the call.
Gonna have to try it. Mike.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, really good. This is actually Mike's dad. Mike and Rob actually went out and they left me, the guy who can't program the VCR, to ask the question.
Well, you swat him upside the head for us. What's your name, man?
My name is Steve.
Pleasure to meet you, Steve. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ellicott City, Maryland.
All right.
And what dangerous question have they left you alone with?
Well, every day our system that's running XP gets the blue screen of death on it, and it says dumping physical memory.
Ooh.
Then it goes through some kind of a countdown thing and reboots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what happens is when you have a physical memory dump, basically what is happening is that the machine has come to a part where it can't do anything else. There's either a driver conflict, most likely sometimes hard drive controllers, driver conflict with a video card, and it takes all of the memory, all of your RAM, and it dumps it down to a file so you can analyze it later.
Right.
It actually saves it to a .dmp file. So if you have a hardcore technician that can dig through this dump file and find out what's going on, you want to do a search for star.dmp, and it'll show you all the dump files that are on your hard drive. Basically, take a look and see what's causing it. Sometimes they list a driver that's causing the error. They'll give you an idea where you should go about to troubleshoot it.
If you're lucky, there's some information that identifies the application. You try to upgrade it or patch it. Otherwise, it's the equivalent of your engine telling you it swallowed a rod, spit oil all over the living room, and you can sort it out for yourself. Eric joins us on the phone from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Hey, Eric.
Hey guys, I have a question. My question actually dealt with, I was searching on the internet and I found some software for 70% off.
Right.
And I'm wondering, is this a scam or what?
Is this you're the guy with the dwine.soft-dindon.biz?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. We started searching around, right? And there's a lot of companies. I mean, a lot of companies sell their software without the box online for a few $100s less. So we started looking at this. They're like, oh, okay, this is legitimate software. It's ACID. So we started searching around, and their cheap price, in a lot of cases, is more expensive, I think, than some other people's boxed price.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Sometimes there'll be little fly-by-night companies that'll go out and buy like a copy of Nero for $10, and then they sell it for $70 and say, hey, 50% off, and just give you half of that. So that's not always the best way to go. Check with the original software creator, the original vendor of the software, to see what they're charging for it. If it's a deal from there, then that's probably a good buy.
Yeah. There's a good rule of thumb is like, hey, if they don't have a phone number, an email address, or a contact there, I tend to think they're not real legit, Eric. This one, a little strange.
And sometimes, Eric, you can save $10 or $20 if you do download it and not get the actual physical box. So they have to pay more money to actually put it in a box and ship it to you.
Yeah, try to buy it from the people that wrote it rather than a third party, though.
Thanks for the call. Next call, Mike from St. Louis, Missouri. Hey, Mike. Mike?
Steve? Anyone?
That was an easy call.
Hello?
There we go.
Hello. Who do we have on the phone?
I have a question. I'm building a custom PC, and I have Windows XP Home Upgrade. Is it possible to load the Upgrade Edition onto the new PC?
Do you have your old Windows 95 or Windows 98 disk or Windows 3.1?
Only Windows 98 would be a system restore from a previous computer.
It should work.
Have you tried putting the disk in when it asks for the original upgrade disk?
No, I haven't tried this yet.
Okay.
What it's going to do, right, basically you're going to start, it's going to boot, it's going to recognize the hard drive, and at some point it's going to say...
Wait a second. It's going to say, wait a second, I need the original disk. I'm just an upgrade. I can't do a full version.
And it's going to list off like NT 4.0, NT 3.5, Windows 2000, Windows 98. And if you insert one of those original installation disks, it's a full version, it should let you update that copy. Basically install that upgrade version.
All right.
And that's the way to do it. Don't do the upgrade like with it already on your computer. It's really nasty. We always recommend, especially going from a really old architecture, like a 98 and 95, to do a fresh, clean install. Maybe an upgrade from 2000, not a big deal. Same basic backbone there with the NT Core. So, do a fresh, clean install.
That's the way to do it. And you know what? If you don't have that Windows 98 disk, go to a flea market and buy one off of somebody's pile of old software for $5. It's a nice way to save yourself $100 on an XP install.
install.
There you go. Thanks for the call. Still to come on All Call Friday, yet another lightning round of calls. And up next, learn how to skip commercials with your TiVo when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to the Screensavers All Call Friday. Todd joins us on the phone from Acton, Massachusetts. How you doing, Todd?
Hey, Patrick. Hey, Kevin.
There's actually not Kevin with us today. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Chief Lab Rat.
Anyway, I had a TiVo question. And my question is there a way to have my TiVo automatically skip through commercials?
You've been briefed to ask your question quickly. Andrew Hahn, Chief Lab Rat, TiVo Maniac. Tell the man what he wants to know.
All right, well, there are so many different little hacks for TiVo. It's mind-boggling. It's really cool. You can do a lot of things. The most common that don't need a back door, which you would have to enable, that are really easy, are the select cheats or hacks or whatever you want to call them.
Tweaks.
The tweaks, right. Now, what I do with commercials, if a commercial comes on, it's super easy just to fly through it. You just go to something and you just hit fast forward, and then you stop when you see the commercial's done, and it has sort of a lag time and jumps back. But
can you actually skip an entire commercial?
You can skip, not entirely with one push of a button, but you can enable what's called 30-second skip.
We like 30-second skip.
Yes, and it's very easy to do. All you do is you do the select play select mode. You hit 3-0 and then hit select again. So you just kind of go. Just hit select. We got to point it at the thing first.
It's kind of like a game sheet where you go like up, left, right, 7, but instead it's select, play, select, 3-0-3?
Just 3-0, and it should be enabled now, so I can jump 30 seconds ahead by hitting the skip ahead button, which normally takes you to the end of the program. So I can just jump. This is Ellen, but I can jump 30 seconds at a time by just hitting that button, and bang, 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 I'll go through stuff. And usually most commercials are 2 minutes, right? So a 2-minute commercial is usually just 3 or 4 button hits, and you're done, and you're back to your programming.
Very cool. So basically, you can do 30 seconds. There's no way to actually get it to automatically know whether it's a minute or a 2-minute commercial break and avoid them completely.
No, not at all. Yeah. Replay does do that, but it's not always accurate. It's about 80% accurate. We've looked at the replay before, and I like it, but the problem with a lot of the broadcasters now, what they do is they try to really kind of screw up the lengths of time with commercials, and they basically try to cheat TiVo so that you can't use the TiVo that well, and replay as well. So they'll do a cold open, and it won't be much different. Like West Wing is a good example of that. Really quiet, and it comes in, you don't know it's there, and you miss like 2 or 3 minutes, so not so good.
Back to Acton in Massachusetts. Basically, 30-second skip, no complete commercial skip, even with a heavy-duty hack. We've got a whole ton of links on the Select Play Select.
Yep, TiVoCommunity.com is the best place, I think, to go.
Thank you, Andrew. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, good stuff. Over to Kevin with another caller.
Yes, indeed. I'm here with Yoshi, the Mod Master. We're going to answer a call together. You want to answer the caller?
Well, Frank's joining us from Jamestown, Ohio. Thanks for joining us, Frank. What's your question?
Hey, Frank.
All right, I have a little problem. My brother has some way of getting around. He doesn't have a user profile on my Windows XP.
Okay.
But yet he can get onto my computer anyway, but he doesn't use either of the ones that I have on there.
Okay, so you have 2 accounts that are listed on there right now.
Yes.
And you know that you've reset the passwords for him.
Yeah.
But he's still getting on.
Yeah, and he's not using either one of those.
Interesting. What do you think, Yosh?
He's got a hidden account on there somehow, or you could be using a nice little password cracking disk or a boot disk to get by it. Would be my only
The hidden account sounds better because when Windows XP comes up, I know that he hits Control Delete and brings up something.
Ah, okay.
And then he goes through and does it some other way.
Okay, so what he's doing when he hits Control Delete is bypassing that nice little pretty graphical user login, and it's going to give you the option to type in a username and password. So he has another account on there that's not listed on that login screen. So you want to show him how to show all the accounts that are listed on the computer?
Well, if you go into the control panel, you're going to go up to user accounts, and you'll see all the accounts here. We have unknown user here, that kind of thing. This is pretty much what you're going to see if you're going to change account. We go, oh, unknown user. Well, let's get rid of him. Delete files, delete everything, delete account.
Now, have you gone into those options
there? Yeah, I've gone under that. It just shows my 2, and it shows that my guest account's off. And that's
the guest account is off.
Do you have your computer turned on right now?
Yeah, hold on just a second. I'll head up to it.
We don't have that much time, but are you close to your computer?
Yeah, I'm like right in the same room. I've got it on. All I got to do is I'm sitting right on the beginning screen with the 2 accounts on it.
Okay. What are the 2 accounts you have on there?
I've got mine and just one that I play with. They're the 2 accounts that are on there.
Okay, I want you to do this. Go to your My Computer icon. You do this too, Yoshi, and right-click on it and choose Manage. And then once you select that, it should bring up a little different interface here, and there should be something that says local user accounts or user accounts in here. Let's see here. There you go. Go into users there. Let's see what's inside there. And you're going to see some user accounts that you wouldn't normally see in that control panel listing. You're going to see some .asp accounts. Is there another account in there that you don't recognize?
Give me just 1 second. I'm booting in our
Oh, no.
All right, I'm going there. So going to my computer.
Okay.
Did you say left click on it?
Right click and go manage.
Yeah, right click and choose manage. This is great music. We should have Sarah dancing or something right now.
I do not see manage on my computer.
You don't see it when you right click on my computer? You don't see manage?
No, I've got Open Explorer open with something or search. Oh, manage. Got it. Never mind.
Okay, there you go. Choose manage, and then tell them where it's at, Yoshi. I can't really see on your
Local
screen.
user would be right under System Tools, the third one down, local users and
All right.
groups, and then click on users.
Now, do you see a list of users there? Take your time. Should be a list of about 5 or 6 accounts there.
Actually, I don't see the thing that he said was on here.
What do you mean it's not in the computer?
There should be, real quick, you should see System Tools and then Event Viewer, and then a couple down you should see Local Users and Groups. Do you happen to see
I
that?
do not see local users and abuse. I got Event Viewer, Shared Folders, Performance Logs, and Alerts, and Device Manager.
Are you on Windows XP Home?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Should have asked that question a long time ago is what we should have done.
Yes, we should have.
Yeah.
Most likely what he's doing is logging into your administrator account,
Right.
which is not shown in the control panel.
Okay.
You need to get in and change the administrator password.
Yeah, we'll show you. We'll put links on how to get to this control panel up in our show notes, but it's a little different for Windows XP Home than it is Pro. But yeah, there is a hidden account that's not showing up, and that's how he's getting in. And once you lock that down, you'll be safe and secure until he comes in and cracks it using one of my dark tips. But that's another story altogether. Now, Sarah, thanks for the call, by the way. Sarah has a great little resource for you.
Yes, I do. Want to watch your network traffic? Tweak Windows without the registry editor, perhaps? FTP for free? Of course you do. And these are but a few of Kevin and my picks for must-have PC applications. If you want to know more, just go to thescreensavers.com/show notes for links to download all of our picks on this lovely page. They're there and they're waiting for you. They don't go anywhere. Find out if you can dual boot an external USB hard drive. Can you? We have the answer. And after the break, it's time for another lightning round. We'll take a series of your calls, lightning speed, when the Screensavers continue.
Coming up next week, we're hitting the streets of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
We take you deep inside the tech of Washington and meet some national heroes.
Kevin spent some time with crash test dummies. Sarah shows us how the government is strengthening the Constitution.
That's all next week on The Screensavers Goes to Washington. And I got off the hook. Welcome back to All Call Friday here on the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up in this half hour, we're taking more calls. Even more of your calls. Calls.
Even more calls. But now it's time for another lightning round. See, that was cool when I did that.
Good.
This one's a little different. Each one of us is going to answer a call. And starting off, David joins us on the phone from Dix Hills, New York. What's your question, David?
Hi. I wanted to know if you knew any reasonably cheap web hosting companies where I could maybe have a lot of picture space.
Okay, I'll take this one.
You've been through more than anybody else I know.
Web hosting companies, what exactly are you looking to do?
Just run a website that has a lot of pictures on it.
There's a lot of pictures, nothing but images.
Right.
Okay, so you really don't care about any type of PHP or CGI access or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so you're just looking for a lot of bandwidth transfer. In this case, I like a couple different servers. One I really like is Pair.com. It's let me switch over here real quick. It is PAIR.com, and the reason I like it is just because they are all FreeBSD based. They're extremely solid when it comes to hosting. They have one of the best reputations for uptime, meaning that your site is not going to go down. And they host so many well-named sites. A lot of Unix-based sites. They host Tom'sHardware.com. I mean, just a whole array of different sites that are out there.
Big name, but are they expensive or are they
They're not too much. You can actually start off with hosting plans are going to run you, if you go on a shared plan, They're going to start at around $5.95 per month, and that's just for hosting images and things like that. That's perfect for
That's pretty cheap.
The home user. Yeah, $5.95 is nothing. So that's all you need to do. Pair.com is a great resource. Another one I like, ReadySetConnect.com. They're good if you're doing message boards and things like that because they have full PHP and JSP and the whole gamut of things. So next call.
Next call. Nathan
Thanks
joins
for the
us
call.
on the phone from Little Burn, Georgia. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, what's your question?
Yeah, I just want to know, like, the basic components that I need for a water cooling machine.
That's a Yoshi question.
That is a question for me. The kind of components you're going to need on a water cooling machine are pretty basic. You're going to need a radiator, which is the most essential way of cooling. You're going to need a pump of some sort, which would be this guy right here. And you're going to need water blocks for your CPU, for your chipset, and some sort of reservoir. And, of course, you need lots of hoses. You can also go with a nice kit, such as Coolants, which has the radiator, the reservoir, the pumps, and the blocks all included.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. What's the next call, guys?
Cool. We have another caller on the line from Massachusetts, Reading, Massachusetts.
Scott.
Scott?
Hey,
guys,
Scott.
how you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Oh, not too bad.
How can we help you today, Scott?
Well, I'm looking to set up a little internet hotspot in my local town, and looking for some authentication software so I can make sure that I know who the users are.
Did you want to charge for this? Is it something you want to make a little money off of?
Well, I'd like it to at least support itself. I think it's a great thing to have free Wi-Fi everywhere, and so if we can do that, but it still needs to pay for what if you have to, do a DSL line or something to run it.
So basically, you're kind of like me, all for free as long as it doesn't come out of your credit card.
That sounds good.
So you basically want to make it available for your friends or for people in your neighborhood who help contribute?
Right, exactly.
The easiest way to do it, in terms of authentication, you can just put a Wi-Fi, basically just create a Wi-Fi hotspot, a wireless access point, and only give access tied to MAC addresses and logins so that only a half dozen people, or however many people you choose have access to it.
That's probably the best way. Go around, get a handful of MAC addresses from your friends, and then just put those into the system. If you want to charge, there was one that Sarah demoed a while back called LinSpot. LinSpot. It ran on OS X and used PayPal for authentication. So that's how you would actually have people pay for it. Much like a hotspot that you see when you go to airports and things of that nature, like a T-Mobile hotspot, it did the exact same thing. You would launch a web page, it would automatically bring up an interface for you. You would buy a day pass or a week pass. It's called LinSpot. I don't know if it runs on Linux. I know it for sure runs on OS X. Sounds like it runs on Linux. LinSpot. It's only OS X, Sarah says. Okay, only OS X. So that's something to check out.
I bet we can get some emails and post on the show notes next week to see what else we find out on those for you. Jeremy joins on the phone, Boise, Idaho.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah, I have a MSI K7N2 Delta motherboard running 512 megs of 200 megahertz DDR RAM.
Okay.
And I was wondering if I would see much performance increase if I went to 400 megahertz DDR RAM.
What's it running at, like 200 megahertz now?
Yes.
In theory, you'll benchmark it, you'll see a difference, you'll go, this is a firm difference. In reality, is when you start firing up your applications, I don't think you're going to notice a thing. It's like benchmarkable difference. Yeah, benchmarkable difference that you'll notice in everyday use. I don't think so. I would wait until spend that money on rather than upgrading your RAM speed. I'd probably spend it on a new processor or double the amount of RAM you have. Probably be more useful to your speed.
Yeah, 3-5%, not a big deal.
Yeah.
You're really going to see it.
And to be honest with you, sometimes 10-15% is hard to see.
Yeah.
25, 30, 45%, you're not going to get that out of that memory upgrade.
I was just thinking that sort of follows the double rule like you would have on the processor.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's kind of a law of not so major returns. It sounds like a much bigger gain than I think it really is.
Okay.
Sorry about that, man.
Even in dual channel mode?
Dual channel mode, that's going to make a pretty healthy difference if you aren't running in dual channel mode. But that's a whole different line of conversation we can't get into right now. But it'll be a good one to talk about later on.
Yeah, definitely. Dual channel.
We need to do a memory primer. Ladies and gentlemen, stay where you are. More live calls coming up ahead when the Screensavers continues.
G4 TV for gamers and Tech TV are connecting to form the only network taking digital entertainment to the next level.
Sound fun?
I love video games.
Plugged in to every aspect of games, gear, gadgets, and gigabytes.
That was unexpected, right? Okay. You're watching G4 Tech TV.
G4 Tech TV. Stay connected and tune in for a sneak peek of G4 all week at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. For more information, go to G4TechTV.com.
Let's check in with the fine folks over at Tech Live to see what's coming up tonight. News anchor Chris Leary joins us from the Tech Live set.
Hey, Chris. News anchor, that's hysterical. No, I'm kidding. I am a news anchor, obviously. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you saw lumber in bed like the snoring thing?
I don't.
Okay. I do.
How do you know you're asleep? How do you guys know that?
Because the neighbors tell me.
Perfect. Well, I'll let you know, Patrick. We might be able to help you out. Listen to this. People who make the noise to wake up wake up tired, and people who listen to it wake up tired as well. Maybe even a little angry. Look at that. Ouch. Coming up on Tech Live, we're going to show you a solution to the nasal noise pollution. Ouch. That hurts. 3 little implants that may make a big difference. And look at that. Boy, I'm getting hungry. This is delicious. This another reason to watch Tech Live. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of nice. We're also going to have a story on puppies. So, kind of balance things out. So you got to watch Tech Live right after the screensavers.
We warned you about video like this, Chris.
You look great, guys. I'm sure we have like flowers and things like that too. So watch us after screensavers, all right?
Chris Leary, Tech Live. Surgery right after the screensaver.
And puppies.
That's hopefully not puppy surgery. Nathan joins us on the phone from Davenport, Iowa.
Hey, Nathan.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good. How about yourself?
Pardon?
How are you
doing
today?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Good.
Doing good. How you doing?
How can we help you today, Nathan?
Well, I was just wondering if it's possible to do a dual boot system using an external USB hard drive.
Well, there's a couple of questions you got to answer. The first question is whether or not you can even boot from a USB external hard drive on your desktop. Desktop or notebook
thing.
Right. I mean, basically, take a look. We had we pulled into the BIOS on the system right here. If we take a look at that screen, if we dig around through here, we're going to advanced BIOS features, and these change a little bit depending on the system and the manufacturer. Your first boot device, that's the thing that's going to tell it where to start. And what we did is looked in here. We at least found out, okay, so if we were like fixed disk drive. Oh yeah, floppy disk drive, zip drive, CD-ROM drive. So in this case, the BIOS will actually see an external USB hard drive.
Now this is interesting because not all BIOSes support this. In fact, I was working on a segment a few months ago. I was going to have a bootable USB thumb drive. And the only way I could do that is to get one of these BIOSes that supports USB hard drives. And this one does. I would say this is the only one. This is the first one that I've seen that actually supports it.
It's a rarity. So do you know if your system will even boot off a USB hard drive, Dan?
Well, actually, right now I don't have one. I'm just looking to, find out for the future. I'm going to be getting a laptop here soon, and that's why I don't just, install a second hard drive, because it's going to be a laptop.
Are you thinking about running 2 operating systems, or?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of put Linux on the external and play around with it.
Okay.
Without affecting the main Windows operating system.
You could switch in the BIOS. You could use I would probably say use an external bootloader that would look for the second one. What's frustrating, right, is the way you normally set it up is you could set it up so at first it looked for the USB hard disk drive, and then it looked for the internal CD-ROM drive and the regular hard drive. That way,
if you unplugs it, it'll go right into Windows. But that's kind of a pain. I would almost...
Well, I don't know, plug the USB drive in or unplug the USB
As long as you have close access to it and you don't have to dig underneath your desk every time you're doing that.
Otherwise, would you control the BIOS, or could you set it up as it boots? Because once it's gone through the BIOS, it should be routed to one or the other.
Right. So what I would probably do in this case, if you really want to do this, would be to install Windows first, because we always recommend doing that when you're doing Linux/Windows, because Windows doesn't control Linux too well, but Linux controls Windows just fine. Yeah. So install Windows first on your main drive, and then install Linux second on that external drive, and then use Linux's bootloader to toss, Lilo or Grub or whatever one is on there, to toss between the two, and then that's the way you'll do it.
Sounds good to me.
Simple as that.
Good question. Dan joins us on the Tech TV Netcam Network from Laurel, Maryland. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Excellent. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. I've got a simple question for you guys, but a difficult one for me. I want to record. I want to take a VCR tape and put it on my PC.
Okay. I got a quick question before that. You've got a giant black square growing out the back of your head. What is that a picture of?
That's my MASH picture.
Excellent.
MASH 4077.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Now actually you can see Hawkeye in the background, Loretta Swit, the whole crew. So you want to take VHS tapes and you want to put them on your hard drive or on DVDs?
On my hard drive.
Okay. Do you have
I've got a video cam that works that way, but obviously VHS doesn't go through that. Or does it?
What do you have? Do you have a video capture card in your PC, or do you have a 1394 card and a mini DV camera? or do we need to go out and buy you? Because basically you need something to capture the video and move it on your hard drive. Then you need to format it properly in MPEG-2 video. It's the kind of video that's used for a DVD disc that your regular DVD players can play. And then the next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to properly format and burn that. The easiest way to do it, as far as I'm concerned, is buy a Mac and use iDVD and iMovie to set it up.
I didn't know your buddy was there today.
No, it's don't need Leo here for that one. iDVD is pretty pain-free. What you could use though is we'll give you some links in the website that'll talk about video capture tools, because you're going to need hardware to capture the video and get it on your hard drive. Mm-hmm. And then there's a couple different applications you can use. Actually, Nero, the burning software, does a pretty good job of formatting DVDs
Nero.
and burning them. You probably Nero 5.0 or 6.0?
5.0, I believe.
You might want to check around, take a look at the listings on actually, you know what, take a look at Robert Heron's review of Nero 6.0. He talks about the DVD burning abilities and some of the video capture tools, and they're probably worth an upgrade. And you know what, it's probably time for us to do a roundup of
I was going to say,
video capture hardware.
I actually did something like this not too long ago. I had a bunch of VHS tapes from some of my old skateboarding videos that I wanted to capture to my hard drive. And I used a product, I can't remember the name of it. It's a little...
Dazzle?
Dazzle, that's it, the Dazzle.
The problem is, though, Dazzle actually got bought by Pinnacle, and Pinnacle doesn't sell that same model anymore. Pinnacle...
That's no good.
Sis...
I had no idea Dazzle.
Why the Martin shelved it today?
Well, I think I'd still be selling the Dazzle capture card.
Well, they sell a variation on it. So Pinnacle Systems, right, they pretty much have bought almost everything in terms of consumer video. So let's go to Consumer Home. We probably are going to screw up before we get here, but we'll find a good capture tool for you.
Yeah, do a search for Dazzle and see what you can find, because I was really happy with the Dazzle. It worked out great.
Looks like they did keep the Dazzle name.
They still have the Dazzle? Okay, great.
Check out the Dazzle stuff. FireWire is better than USB. USB 2.0 is better than USB, because you just get a better, cleaner capture.
They're about $75 to $100 depending on the features that you want, and they work great.
$75 to $200.
Well, they have higher end ones now, but they were starting at $75 and going up. So
it's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Thanks for the call. Coming up after the break, find out the best solutions for transferring VHS to DVD. Right, you already did that one.
Well, we'll talk about more stuff after the messages.
More live calls.
Be sure to catch Monday's show. Why? We're going to explore the Army's virtual training world, put a full-function personal server in your home, or is it so functional? And Kevin shares with you some dark deals on the web. It's all coming up on Monday's fine edition of the Screensavers.
Love the dark deals.
Love the dark.
Larry joins us on the phone from Northampton, Ohio.
Hi, Larry.
Hello.
Hey, Larry.
Hello. Yeah, I have a question. I'm going to put Linux on an existing XP system, and I want to know for sure whether I should use the swap file at the beginning of it or not for the Linux.
Oh, so you're talking about a Linux swap partition.
So you're going to dual boot Linux and Windows XP on the same system, and you're wondering where you should put the swap file or the size of the swap file or
Yeah, basically what a swap file is.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start with the basics. A swap file, no matter what operating system you talk with, basically you never have enough main system memory, never enough RAM in your computer. A swap file is basically it's like scratch paper for your main system memory in your processor. So anything it can't fit in main system memory, but it knows it's going to need really soon, it can sort of throw it out on that section of the hard drive called the swap file, or the virtual memory.
Yeah, there's in Linux it's a little different than it is in Windows. Windows actually keeps one file on the hard drive that is the swap file. In Linux there's a partition that's called the swap file that you actually set up. You're asking whether it should go before the main partition?
Right, because I'm using Partition Magic.
Right.
And the question it asked was, should I put do I want a swap file before the Windows?
Yeah, well, why they ask you is basically hard drive spins, right?
Right.
The closer you are to the center of the hard drive, basically, the faster the bits move underneath the head. So essentially, it means the head moves less space to get to them, and the physical bits move faster underneath the head. So in theory, the stuff that's written on the middle of or the center of the disk is going to be getting to you faster than the stuff that's written on the outside edges of the disk. So the idea is that you can improve performance on your swap file by having it written as close to the center of the disk as possible.
Yeah, I'm always, when I set up the partitions, I just did a Debian install the other day. I always create the swap file or the swap partition first, and then use the rest of the available space for my main partition in Debian, and it automatically sets it all up and creates writes the partitions to the drive. Sure, why not? I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. Create it as the first partition and have fun. It's normally they normally recommend about double the amount of RAM that you have as the size, and you should be good to go.
Okay, Larry.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys.
Good luck.
Watch you every day.
All right,
Thank you
thanks,
very,
Larry.
very much. Should we check in with Sarah?
It's always great to see people trying out Linux for the first time.
It's a
That's
good
cool.
thing.
Yes, let's check in with Sarah for a helpful tip.
You ever wonder what the heck we actually do all day? So do I. And if you have, you're in luck because the web team has been secretly taking photos of us while we work. I kid you not. Go to thescreensavers.com/show notes for links to all of our candid pics. There's Patrick smiling, Kim frowning, Tim dying, and much, much more. There's also some video highlights of our tech horror stories and my first time co-hosting. Who put that on there? That was so hard and scary. Now stay where you are. Next up, we'll check our inbox, see what's on your mind, as if we don't already know. When the screensavers continue.
Our audience choice for best caller today is Mike's dad, Steve.
Congratulations, you get this helpful little gift pack here. Nice Tech TV backpack. We got a Tech TV water bottle. This is some of Yoshi's makeup.
Some Tech TV makeup?
I don't know.
Here's what we're thinking, Steve. If they left you, they abandoned you, they left you to watch the show, you can either keep the stuff yourself if you're a fan, sell it on eBay,
Sell it on
make
eBay.
some cash, or if you really want to enjoy it, sell it to your kids for an incredibly high markup.
Who does that? Only Patrick Norton. Thanks to the audience for picking out the caller of the day. And now, Sarah, do you have any final remarks? Oh, look at that.
Okay, this one comes from John Papa. He says, I'm planning on a new PC. What would you pick, Windows XP Professional or Windows 2000 Professional?
XP Professional.
Yeah, XP Pro all the way. It has a lot of functionality that Windows 2000 did not. Let's see here. Remote desktop is one that I really love, to be able to remote control your PC.
Great encryption for portable systems if you want to lock down your notebooks and stuff
Windows
like
encrypted
that.
file system. Yeah, what else was there? There's so many other things that they have in there.
It's got a much more attractive interface.
Fisher-Price interface.
Yeah, we like
a lot
that.
of different stuff.
You know what? It's you won't go particularly wrong with either one of them. But I think XP's a better choice at this point.
Definitely.
Okay, Mike from Redbud, Illinois, has a suggestion. GIMP 2.0 was recently released. For those of us who can't afford to shell out $600 for Photoshop, please start giving us some tips on doing cool things with the GIMP. That goes for you too, Burt Munroy.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome, yeah.
GIMP is cool. We should explain to everyone. GIMP is the free Photoshop. It's open source. You can download it for Windows. It also runs on almost every other operating system. I would highly recommend checking it out.
GIMP is pretty solid on Linux. It used to have some crashing issues on Windows we weren't real huge fans about. Here's the nice thing. Most of the stuff you can do in Photoshop, you can basically look at the tools inside of GIMP and apply those techniques on the GIMP. It's basically GIMP is attempting to be Photoshop for free. So they've emulated, i.e. copied, i.e. made it as close to Photoshop as possible without having lawsuits from Adobe. They've done some things differently. We'll talk to Bert. We'll see if he'll look at the GIMP and show us some stuff in it, and we'll see what we can do to get some GIMP ideas on.
Yeah.
Good suggestion.
We're a big fan of GIMPs.
Do you have another one, Sarah?
I do. John wants to know. First he says, don't sue me. I'm a humanities academic. I want a subject answered. What are cookies? Are they harmful? Why are they considered spyware? Can a site hijack someone's cookies? Can they execute code?
That's interesting. Well, cookies
He's one of these deep thinkers.
Yes, indeed.
Somebody's writing a paper. Cookies, because they asked us to call them personally to explain this.
That's always a sign of a turned paper. Cookies are basically little pieces of information that get placed on your hard drive.
Right.
Every time you access certain sites. Amazon uses them to track where you're going, and sometimes your login information. If you ever wonder why you go back to a site and you don't have to log in every single time, because most likely the information is stored on a little tiny cookie on your hard drive.
So cookies are not necessarily evil. However, cookies can track where you've been. They can pass information. They can share information. They can be used to do peculiar and upsetting things, which is why a lot of people consider cookies evil and why a lot of people actually manually control or refuse outright to let cookies onto their system. Are they spyware? Not exactly, but they can be used for slightly icky purposes. That's why, again, you can turn off cookies. You can manually control cookies. You can clear your cookies. It's why spyware and other applications will be like, these are the cookies from people you should watch out for, and you can eliminate them.
But it's important to note that cookies are also, they're used when you're, especially in message boards. You need that information to show that you're actually logged in as a user in order to post something. Definitely recommend keeping the certain ones and blocking the bad ones. There's more articles on the web we can show.
Good thing to research. We got to scoot, folks. That's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on All Call Friday, and we'll see you next time.
Great night.
Good night.